creatures from another star came down and started banging us British around the same way we're treating the Aboriginals in Tasmania. And Wells wrote War of the Worlds. One interesting thing is the serialisation of that novel appeared in 2 parts. One in May, one in July. In June of that year, Queen Victoria's Jubilee was being enacted. That was the height of the British Empire. And here's H.G. Wells writing this novel, smashing the whole thing to bits, and having enormous fun doing it too.
Gentlemen here.
There's a major trend to writers producing fantasy. It may just be because the 3-brick contract is easier handled by fantasy, but there seems to be a steady move towards de-scientification amongst the community. And however fantastical, the hard-ish science fiction helped spark imaginations, enthusiasm, and certainly spark mine. I'd be interested in the comments of the speakers on that particular apparent trend and whether I'm missing something.
One thing I think you may be missing, well, actually 2 things. The first thing is trying to figure out and follow and keep track of modern frontiers of science is increasingly really, really difficult. It's not just a matter of changing physics or astrophysics these days. The biological sciences alone are mind-numbingly complex. Just being able to write hard SF these days is really challenging. The second thing, another show of hands, how many people in this room have read a book by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock? Okay. I maintain that you can explain an awful lot of contemporary politics and current affairs by working on the assumption that about 20% of the population of the developed world are suffering to some extent or other from acute future shock. I'm thinking of the authoritarian tendencies, authoritarianism in British or Australian politics, religious fundamentalism of the Tea Party in American politics. These are manifestations of people who are profoundly insecure, cleaving to any source of unquestioned authority. And these are not people who would find escapism in a really complex universe. These are people who want nice, simple systems. And one of the things most swords and sorcery, certainly most classic fantasy gives, is simplicity. The settings resonate with an earlier age, and I'm not going to stuff my foot too far in my mouth by mocking fantasy here, but very often it's a literature of consolation or escapism, rather than one of inspiration.
I just have I didn't see the 5-minute warning, unfortunately. We just had the stop sign, so I'm very sorry. I was hoping to take another question from that side of the room.
Let me finish by saying I'm a hard science fiction writer, and I think you're right, unfortunately, Charles. All of my favorite fantasies are entirely sexual.
Sorry we have a little bit more time, but thank you very much. Thank you, my fellow panelists. Enjoy the rest of the call. Thank you.